Hey, everybody, let's look at Jeremy Dewitte's final criminal charges that are coming up in the middle of July 2023. I've always thought he wasn't even going to get out of jail. He was just going to be found guilty on these criminal financial charges and then stay in jail or have a long prison sentence. But now that I've been thinking about it, financial fraud and insurance fraud, is that going to put this man in jail? I don't think so. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets out of jail and he doesn't even have to do any jail time for financial fraud and insurance fraud. I'll explain why, but let's first find out what's going on in this case. His attorney, who is a public defender on this case, Amir Ladan, is not representing him anymore, not on this case. All the cases that Amir is involved in have been now wrapped up, including his violation of parole. So now, as you can see on this one, he has a public defender. His public defender has filed a motion with the court to delete his bonds on the uncharged counts. And as you know, Jeremy is charged with 9 counts of basically fraud, it looks like. Each count of fraud carries with it a $5,000 bond. So he'd have to pay a bond of $45,000 basically to get out of jail while he's waiting for this trial. He would very much like to get out, so his public defender has filed this motion to drop the bonds on the counts 6 through 9, which would leave him with a $5,000 bond on each count 1 through 5, $25,000 bond, and Jeremy Dewitte gets out of jail. The public defender is arguing that Jeremy was basically charged on counts 1 through 5, and that's why he's in jail right now. But charges 6 through 9, which is the organized scheme to defraud, staging a motor vehicle accident, and insurance fraud claims, those he was charged with after, so he shouldn't be held on a bond for those. And that's what it says right there. They're going to look at this probably next week and make a decision. I wouldn't be surprised if they do get rid of those last 4 bonds and give Jeremy a $25,000 bond. The pretrial hearing for this is coming up July 12th, and the hearing is actually coming up July 24th. There will probably be a continuance on these, so nothing will happen. It'll be pushed until August, and then he'll get another continuance until September. In August, he'll be getting out of jail on his parole violation charges, and then he'd probably like to pay this bond of as little as possible and then be able to await his trial while on ankle monitor. But while I'm actually looking over these charges here, I don't know if he's really going to get prison time for any of these. Organizing, planning, or participating in an intentional motor vehicle collision. Let's get back to that one. Count 2 is false and fraudulent motor vehicle insurance application. Nobody's going to go to prison or jail for a fraudulent motor vehicle insurance application. And here it is again on count 3. And then on count 4 is a false and fraudulent insurance claim. Stealing money from an insurance company, egregious criminal offense, yes, but are people in prison for that? Especially getting caught their first time doing it, basically. And remember, did Jeremy actually do this? He was doing it as part of his LLC, his Metro State Special Services LLC, which is a limited liability company, which basically means Jeremy's liability is limited for the fraudulent things that happened during the course of business. Fraudulent insurance claims and fraudulent motor vehicle insurance applications done for the company, a company that is now defunct and out of business, will probably land Jeremy a slap on the wrist. I mean, this is Orange County courts in Florida, where you could literally do an armed robbery of a retail establishment and they are not going to put you in jail. Guaranteed. Or not, I don't know. How about these other ones? A motor vehicle collision, staging a motor vehicle crash. There's one thing about, trying to get into an accident, which Jeremy didn't do. He would use every opportunity to blame somebody else when there was an accident, but he wasn't running out in front of vehicles and getting hit and then filing insurance claims. He would just take opportunities of negligence and people's distraction and fender benders to try to maximize his claim against insurance companies to get the insurance companies to pay him and supplement his income. Are people going to prison for defrauding private companies like insurance companies with a fake vehicle claim? Like one of them, what's he charged with? 1 or 2 fake vehicle claims. It'd be different if there was like 100 of them, but he's charged with like 2 of them. That's surely going to be another slap on the wrist. And obtaining property by communications fraud. I mean, these don't seem like serious charges to me. Even him doing tax fraud probably wouldn't get him sent to prison unless it would be a really egregious, willful violation that's happened multiple times. Most likely, he's just going to have to pay restitution and then pay some fines. If we look at his actual affidavit for arrest warrant that's listed on here, it just doesn't seem too serious to me. As far as charges that he should be charged with, I mean, a fraudulent motor vehicle insurance application that he filled out as the president of an LLC, he's probably going to have indemnity there, especially since the LLC is no longer operating. A fraudulent charge against USAA, I mean, that's going to be remedied just by him paying it back or by being ordered to pay it back. I mean, staging a motor vehicle crash, that's going to be really hard to prove that he had the intent to stage a motor vehicle crash. That's based on Jennifer Burton's word that Jeremy did it on purpose. But as we all know, Jeremy just drives recklessly, and when there are collisions, he blames everyone else all the time and files insurance claims. Mrs. Burton's testimony here that Jeremy did it on purpose is not going to have any sway with a court, and especially not with a jury. And a state attorney is going to see that. So they're going to want to cop a plea agreement with Jeremy. And I don't think he's going to agree to any plea agreement that it puts him in prison. And then sending false claims into USAA insurance company, he's going to remedy that with money, not prison time. And then they're going to get him with another count 9 here, which is an organized scheme to defraud insurance companies based on these other 2 fraudulent insurance claims, which later, when those 2 insurance claims get downplayed, this count 9 is going to go away. Was it an organized scheme? It was just a pattern of behavior that would profit Jeremy Dewitte, and that's not punishable by prison time. Technically it is, but this is Florida, 9th District, Orange County. They do downward departures for Jeremy all the time. He's not going to go to prison. I mean, I don't know the future, but I don't have any hope that the criminal justice system in the 9th District here in Florida is going to prosecute like the law says. It's always a downward departure from the minimal requirements for punishment. They say, oh, we see the minimal requirements, the minimum punishment, but we're going to do less than that. And then they blame stuff like COVID or overcrowding or whatever. So in my personal opinion, I think Jeremy's going to be getting out of the jail here in August. Somehow he's going to get his bond paid, and then he'll be out and free, ready to fight this trial maybe by the end of the year. And then this trial will be done with no prison time, no more jail time. Jeremy won't be going back to jail or prison. In worst case scenario, it'll be really hard for Jeremy to be able to get insurance because no insurance companies will accept him. And then as far as Jeremy getting credit cards and credit from lenders, it's going to be very hard for Jeremy to get credit in his name. So those are going to be the hard things that Jeremy's going to have to pay for doing all this, is trouble getting insurance so that he can drive legally, and then trouble getting credit, which basically means he's going to have to go back to stealing and driving without insurance. I can tell you, if he gets pulled over in Orange County or Osceola County for driving without, for whatever on the road, and then he gets found out that he doesn't have insurance, nobody's going to arrest him or cite him. They're just going to tell him, get that taken care of, because nobody in Orange County or Osceola County wants to deal with Jeremy anymore, especially on some, you don't have insurance. You don't have your insurance card, Jeremy. And that's what it's going to come down to, because on the side of the road, Jeremy's going to say, I do have insurance. I don't have it with me. I could show it to you, but my phone with the emails at home. So the officer's going to be hassling Jeremy over not having his insurance card. I don't think so. They're going to know who this guy is, and they're definitely not going to be arresting anybody or taking anybody to jail for any of this. That is my prediction that I've come to this week, June 16th, 2023. We're wrapping up this night, Friday night, F-Boy Friday, and I think Jeremy will be out here in August. And he's free to talk about Metro State. They've revoked his probation, so none of those probation terms apply. He's going to be a free man. Maybe he'll be talking about Metro State right here on PT's Far Removed Uncle. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned. Subscribe. Hit that bell notification. You don't want to miss what's coming up soon. And also comment down below. Let me know what you think of this ominous forecast for the future. This isn't like the 18-month plea deal prediction. And wasn't a prediction. That was just basic research. This one's prediction. So anyway, thanks for watching. And as always, have yourself a great day and a great weekend. Happy Father's Day.